Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gorecom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. With us today, happy to have him back on a Friday, Rob Anson, CEO, Loop Insights, trades in the venture under MTRX, and for our friends in the US, RACMF. For those new to the story, that's still going to be a lot of you because Loop keeps attracting a lot of attention in the market. The tagline is the company's a provider of contactless solutions, artificial intelligence that drive real-time insights, enhanced customer engagement, and automated venue tracing to the brick and mortar space. All right. And more than just lip service, we all know that the company's announced some unbelievable partnerships and agreements with the likes of TELUS, NTT Data, numerous venue bubbles for NCAA events, and on and on. So the company isn't just talking, isn't just using buzzwords. They're walking the walk, and we got another big press release to talk about today. Rob, welcome back, man.
Thanks for having me, George. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and thanks for this press release. Headline: Loop provides Wallet Pass platform to World Boxing Council to engage fans for championship fight being broadcast over 200 countries across the world with a combined social media to exceed 10 million followers. Boxing fan or not, WBC is a global brand that almost everybody knows. Does this continue the trend of Loop Insights partnering or becoming a vendor to the biggest names in the world? Because that's what it seems like it's been happening over and over again.
Yeah, this is a big one too, because this goes along with our acquisition of Pass Creator, right? The digital wallet for us is a big part of our solution stack now. It's our third commercialized product in market, which is something I'm very proud of. And my team's done an amazing job getting it there. This is all from Danny Spataro, who was our sports and entertainment hire recently. Danny put this together, and Mike and Dev supported him. And literally this came together in 4 days, George. That's something that
4 days? How's anything? I can't get together a family dinner in 4 days. All kidding aside, how do you get something like this done in 4 days?
Well, it's interesting because Danny called me and he's like, "Hey, I just had an amazing call with WBC. They've got a huge fight with Canelo coming up, which is fight of the year for them. They're asking if we can do this and launch Saturday." I'm like, "What Saturday? Like, is in 4 days?" And I was like, "Well, it's okay. Let's see what we can do." And literally my team worked around the clock for 3 days to get everything teed up and launched. And WBC got a little antsy yesterday and time zones mixed up, I guess, and leaked it a little early. So we got shut down.
Does that explain the halt? Because that was a strange halt right there in the middle of the afternoon for an hour or two.
Hour and 43 minutes. Yeah, exactly. I actually got the phone call, and that was it. I mean, it's amazing how quickly people find things and it gets up on bulletin boards. So they shut us down, and here we are today. It's been a huge success. WBC's been amazing. They see this as a long-term play for sure. And this is kind of what we go to. We've got venues that are shut down for the most part, but it's really about the next evolution of loyalty. For those that aren't familiar with the Wallet Pass, we're going to be doing a WebEx here very shortly to onboard people. And as you saw in the press release and our social assets, I strongly encourage all of our shareholders and those that are perhaps looking to become one to download the pass. You'll see how easy it is. You'll see all the engagement and the rest of it that goes live with the fights tomorrow night down in Miami, Florida at Hard Rock. It's been a whirlwind, but it's a great first step for us kind of at that global scale. I mean, there's over 200 countries that'll be carrying the fight. Obviously, the Latino community with Canelo is absolutely massive. I always remember, I used to be a big fight fan back in the day with De La Hoya and whatnot. And the cult following that they have is just crazy. Yeah. So, it's opened up the doors. We've had even a lot of the fighters reach out to us about their own Wallet Pass loyalty platforms. So it's pretty interesting to see where this goes. It's captured a lot of interest, of course, of other people that we're talking to that followed up, and it's
because this was announced by WBC. So I mean, the entire sports world follows obviously WBC in their announcement. So there has I think you just alluded to it. The phones are going to start ringing from everybody who says, "Hey, what's this? Do I need this for my live events?"
Well, yeah, I mean, because everyone's trying to look, how do we offset revenues first and foremost? But then it always comes back to the fan experience, right? So it's something that we're providing now that it's new. It's like anything new. I mean, it's like us. I mean, 90% of the shareholders obviously still don't understand what we do, which
Well, let's talk about that. What are we doing for in this specific application here, Wallet Pass for this big? So run us through a couple, a layman overview, because we do want to keep helping investors understand. I think a lot of them do, but hey, you guys are constantly innovating so quickly and into new verticals that it's hard for. What are you doing specifically for WBC tomorrow, and then hopefully on and on for a long time?
Yeah, so we've got their fight pass, right? This is you're privy to now to exclusive content. You're privy and honored to be part of their fan loyalty pass, if you will. They've got all of their streaming tied to it, which we talked about earlier. They've got all their merchandising tied into it, sponsored digital activations that'll be running. There's a lot of things, of course, that we weren't able to put together in 4 days, but there's some pretty big things that we're working on in the background around the whole engagement and activations for the next fights that are pretty interesting. So
I'm a Canelo fan, and I've downloaded this. What added experience am I going to get out of it?
Yeah, there's a couple things that I can't say yet because it's part of the show, but
okay.
There's
all right. That's awesome.
Yeah, but no, there is. I mean, there's it's the same reason of anything, even for these mobile app companies. Why do I care, right? What's the point of this? So of course there's, as I said, exclusive content access. There's promotion and whatnot tied to it. Special engagement, as you'll see Saturday night. So for us, yeah, no, it's a very simple. Most people are familiar with wallet passes from boarding passes or tickets for an event. When you integrate our technology, it becomes dynamic. So you'll start to see a lot of the support of app experiences. The wallet pass is a lot lighter, right? It sits on every phone. It's already there. You don't need to download an app. It's already in the phone and any Android and iOS phone. So the Apple and Google have done an amazing job, especially with their VAS, which is a whole other story that we'll talk about another day, and I don't want to confuse people, but simplicity of it here, George, it's real-time fan engagement with new offers and engaging and incentives and exclusive content and whatnot that those who download will get.
And it also goes back to, for me, for the investor, the third-party validation. So how does it feel when this quote from the WBC President Maurico Sulaiman, who says, "This premier fight featuring Canelo and Yildirim provides the perfect opportunity for the WBC to leverage Loop's engagement platform to connect in real time with our worldwide fan base. Loop's impressive capabilities will allow the WBC to deliver the right experience at the right time." I mean, he's not just saying that about Loop, but he's telling the whole world that at the end of the day, right? You've got people watching and saying, "Okay, I need this." Do you think that this is a one-time audition, or do you think that this relationship with WBC will continue, into the perpetual future?
Oh no, we're already working on next fight. They're looking at the art of what's possible. I mean, that's the fun part, and that's why you're in a good meeting when you do your presentation, and then their digital team and marketing team start proposing use cases and how do we position this? Can we do this? Enter to win, giveaways, meet and greets, all of these different things over Zoom and whatnot. Now there's a lot of cool stuff that is being worked on for next event already. So it won't be a one-off. This is, to me, it's going to be a long-term partnership from the sounds of it, and it's going to enable us to open the doors. As I keep saying, the use case, the white paper, if you will, the data. right? That's extremely powerful. I mean, we've got a lot of large organizations that we're in some pretty deep discussions with that saw the announcement and reached out yesterday and can't wait to see the white paper. So these things, it starts to snowball, right? WBC is a monster, and for us to start there is kind of the first.
Yeah, you didn't start at one of the smaller guys. You guys start at the top. Well, in the press release, in the headline, you said additional global fight events expected. So I started thinking, okay, is this more just with WBC, which would be great, but they're not the only fighting company fight organization out there. There are also other boxing associations. There's WWE, there's MMA through UFC. So when you allude to additional global fight events expected, is that WBC, or are you expecting even more throughout the entire vertical?
Yeah, no, there's a lot. Let's just say there's a lot of opportunities out there that some pretty big marketing and promoters that always looking to make a dollar and always to create that fan experience. And a couple of them, as you mentioned, in UFC and WWE are both monsters as well, and have huge egos. And really, it's the end of the day, it's about the promotion and the experience for the fans. So how do we help drive their business and drive engagement? Everything now is about streaming and pay-per-views, of course. So it's always about real-time access to the fan and consumer, and that's what we're.
For everyone at home, even if you don't plan on paying for the pay-per-view, because I know they're not cheap either, it might be $49 or $99. At the very least, I'm going to do it, but at the very least, I would say use the link, get the wallet pass, because, right, Rob, even if I'm not watching the boxing match, I will see whatever these surprise things or things you're talking about, they'll be happening. So that's probably the best way for everyone at home to do some great due diligence, right? Is to see, oh, wow, that's a cool experience there. I'm looking forward to it because you haven't told us exactly what, because you want it to surprise, but I'm looking.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, my team in 4 days did an amazing job. And
that's crazy.
The cool part about it too is the content. I'm sure you saw the video that went around yesterday on WBC social channels and whatnot. They've got a huge promotion push today on the pass and the event. So that's pretty exciting, and I'm extremely proud of my team and marketing team and Danny and Mike for putting this together from a sales perspective.
Between this, the NCAA events, it seems like Loop is really establishing itself in the sports vertical at the highest levels, right? Is the sports industry accelerating adoption of this kind of technology? And how much of that is because vaccines aren't the panacea and they're still going to impact attendance and all that, versus, hey, we just need to go to the next level of engagement. It's silly for us not to be doing this.
Yeah, well, for us, we're fortunate because, our Phoebe and AI business intelligence platform and portal and insights and analytics and the rest of it, George. Sports entertainment is a perfect example. And it's so good for us because it's about interoperable data connectivity, right? So plug in Phoebe into the IT environment, connect all of their siloed assets. So ticketing, food and beverage, merchandising, parking, mobile app, Wi-Fi data. They're all sit as independent silos right now, right? Loop enables them to connect all of that, but provide real-time alerts, real-time activations, and that's where the Wallet Pass plays nice. As you saw with Venue Next, obviously they're a big player in the space where mobile POS. There's a whole lot of pieces that we're moving here into some pretty big projects and opportunities. This is why today was very important because, there's partnerships that are happening in the background. There's a lot of, business development and R&D from our tech side to make all this possible. But, at the end of the day, sports entertainment is perfect because we provide real-time connectivity. And obviously it's about operational efficiency and profitability for the operator. But we action the data for the fan experience. And that's really the key.
And when you explain it like that, we don't often make reference to it, but the stock symbol MTRX, you pick specifically as a reference to the matrix. And when you talk about you plug it in and you bring together all those silos into one, right? You actually all tongue in cheek aside, you start to get it saying, wow, this has never been done before, where you bring all of it together. And in real time, that George parked and he bought a hot dog and he's probably going to need to buy some, maybe I should tell him he needs to buy a shirt right now. So, hey, George, go pick up this Dak Prescott jersey at 10% off if you buy it in the next 15 minutes. That's for everyone at home. That's how you got to realize the power. How's the sports pipeline look? Because you've got Venue Nexus partners, you've got BDG Sports. I mean, it must be. I'm assuming it must be growing.
Yeah, Danny is. I'm a big LinkedIn guy, and I spend a lot of time on there and reading as much as I can about different stories and people and technologies and whatnot. But I always look to the guys that we bring on. When they announce they're leaving their company to go to a new opportunity. If you go look up Danny Spataro, and especially with Tamer Shafiq, who's our CTO that came from Entity Data, you look at all the hundreds of people that commented, and you look at all the teams that commented on Danny's post. It's pretty interesting to see the credibility and respect that he's garnered in the industry over the last 15 years. He's super passionate. He's very much like myself, extremely driven and passionate about what he's doing, and it's translating here. And I'm very confident what Danny will deliver here in the next 30-60 days.
Looking forward to that. And it just makes sense. The virality just gets great. That's the world we live in, right? Things go viral. If you're not active, you're dormant. One thing, two things, three things, the virality just starts to multiply.
Sure. I mean, like I keep saying, like, people just think, oh, WBC, who cares, right? It's not easy to even get a phone call with people, right? But I mean, you should see some of the stuff that I get sent to me. I mean, it's quite comical, but it is. They're long sell cycles, but when you're in the door, it's a very small club, right? Like I said, this is a new technology. For us, it's getting it in there and making strides like we did, today. But like I said, when you're in, and it's kind of a lot of sheep and monkey see, monkey do, because it's a trusted source now. So there's some key teams they're working with in various leagues that are kind of seen as the innovators in the leagues, and they get what we're doing because it's all about real-time data applications and whatnot. So
your competition, Rob, like when you're talking to who, I don't want to name a sports team in case I name one, like that, the Markham Marauders, who's your competition when you go in there and say, guys, real-time data, we're going to bring all the silos together, engagement, activation. Who's your competition when you're walking out of those meetings?
Yeah, well, we don't really have any for the most part. There's, with competition, and, what do you call competition? I mean, there's a lot of, data warehousing companies that help provide data after the fact. That's why, there's the big excitement, as I've said before, it's about real time, right? That is the one thing that, that's our differentiator. It's real time data connectivity. And that's really the key, right? So from that real-time connectivity, this is where we can make all the magic happen, right? Whether it's in operations and supply chain management, inventory management, or whether it's in the CPGs and brand marketing world and digital activations, all of these things stem from real-time capabilities. So, we have competitors that are reaching, out to us because we heighten their capabilities. So it's really great. I mean, obviously the public doesn't get to see, what's happening in the background, but it's very impressive to me to see what Danny's done, how he's positioned the story with the right people. And, as I keep saying, this is not a sprint for us. This is this is a marathon. Apple and Google, Amazon weren't built in 18 months. And like I said, we're continually heading in the right direction. And I understand people expect everything, tomorrow, but like I said, it's simply not the reality in SaaS and tech. And the educated investors that understand are very supportive and get it. This is, a 3-year, 5-year play. It's not a 7-day. And, unfortunately, that's what a lot of the young investors, it becomes.
Well, they'll learn. I've posted a few times in general, not with a specific to Loop, because I never want to seem like I'm giving financial advice to anyone that may be invested in Loop. But, I've all of my 6 and 7 digit wins, and I've had them, many have come from finding a great company, believing in it, doing my due diligence, not just blindly saying, okay, Bob from ABC Widgets is going to create the biggest widget. And as long as the story stays intact and it's growing and they're doing the right things, bringing the right people, bringing the right customers, I stay with it. I don't get impatient. And I can't tell you how many stocks I have that I could have sold at 90% below where they are today and still made a good profit, but just because I was impatient. But by holding, you got 6 and 7 digit big wins. So for everyone at home, that's how it's done. And I watched Chamath the other day, the big VC, and he said, if a company grows super fast, it'll lose its business super fast because it's just too easy for everyone else to get into it. But if a company builds and builds and builds, it just becomes like a moving lava, that you can't stop after a while. So that's why I love.
Well, that's just it. I mean, like I said, we're not a one-trick pony either. We've got 3 commercialized products that are live in market. We've now got some global scale. Things are just starting, and like I said, it takes time. And those that are impatient, they can bump into something else and check back in 6 months, in a year, and 18 months, and they'll have that same story. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no patience required here at the end of the day because you keep coming out with big names, right, all the time. Keep going. So it's not as if we're sitting around waiting for one thing to happen and say, I mean, they're happening. So I'm just going to keep going with it. There's no reason. So I'd be remiss if for a minute we didn't talk about just the overall business. I call it PPP. How are the partnerships going? How are the pilots going? And how's the overall pipeline outside of sports looking? So first, partnerships. TELUS, NTT, how are those partnerships moving along behind the scenes?
Yeah, really good. We've been working diligently with the TELUS team and Big White to get that live and up and running. Wallet Pass will also play a very big part there as well around the engagement, obviously with the various tourism boards in the Okanagan, for those that are familiar with it. A lot of wineries, golf courses, and spas, and luxury hotels on the lake that are all looking to support one another. So there's some interesting opportunities that will come of that. Overall pipeline for retail, and like I said, Steve Gray just keeps knocking out of the park. With Maplin and Pharmacist and a few others that he's been pushing and pretty close on. So there's some great opportunity in the retail. Like I said, sports entertainment is starting to become a pretty big story for us, and the next few months we'll see even more so. But no, things are great. There's a lot of large companies that are part of the ecosystem who are the big dog that are happy to introduce us and take us under their wing, which is great. So there's a lot of kind of commercial agreements in the works being processed as we speak, and we anticipate to keep doing our thing, George.
How are the pilots coming, specifically with Pharmacist and how are those? Because
really good. Yeah, no, I mean, this is the one thing everyone's very impressed with is the speed to market for onboarding, and really from the data ingestion side to be able to stand up our AI analytic engine. It's very, very impressive, because typically enterprise is 30 to 60 days. I mean, we're literally 5 days here, right? So onboarding, standing up, real-time data, forecasting.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
All of it. So it's good. I mean, my team has done an amazing job, right? I mean, I'm blown away by the people that we've been able to hire and how excited they are, and how passionate they are. And each week they come out with something that just makes us even that much better. So it's
when you ended 2020, you said 2020 was great. 2021 is going to be another jump by the same magnitude that 2020 was. And I think you said it'll make 2020 look like not that impressive, but you still feeling great about 2021?
No, but it's a starting point. I mean, and part of it, we're our own worst enemy because everyone expects a press release every second day. And like I said, we're working on, large deals, and, they take a bit of time, right? And we're trophy hunting, as I said. So, like this one here took 4 days, which is an anomaly.
No,
but
I can't launch an Agoracom client in 4 days. Like if a company calls me today and says, George, we need to have up a hub and our message and our first video. I mean, that's a challenge to do that in 4 days. Okay. I can't imagine that you got what you guys, how power, and it's not just elbow grease, but it's a credit to the technology.
Yeah, it's the technology, but it's my team. I mean, Devin and Mike and Danny and Tang, and they did an amazing team putting these assets together. I mean, it's good. Your team's doing great when, digital teams like WBC have hundreds of are promoting your stuff, right? It's not, oh, no, let us take it and tweak it. They're, straight out the door. This is great, right? And that's a big part of the service that we offer, right? We've got quality content and distribution right across the board.
Congratulations on another big win. And I'm looking forward to, I'm going to be on the WBC Wallet Pass for sure. And I've got DAZN, DAZN. No one knows how to pronounce that. No. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to watch it or stream it through DAZN. So I'm going to be streaming at the same time and using the Wallet Pass, because I'm looking forward to it. And for everyone at home, if you can do both, great. If you can just do the Wallet Pass, that'll still be active. And, you may not be able to see the context that's going on, but I'm assuming you'll be able to see activity and things happen. And so, make sure to download it and let's talk again when it's all over.
Yeah, sounds good, George. Thanks for having me once again, and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, man. Same to you. For everyone at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or your favorite podcast platform, to Rob Anson, CEO, Loop Insights, trades on the TSX Venture Exchange and the stock symbol MTRX. And for friends of the US, under RACMF. You've heard what he had to say. You've watched what he had to say. Time for you to do your due diligence. And I think that starts with the WBC Wallet Pass to really get an idea of what this company is delivering. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.